Hey, movie nerds! Today we're stepping into Sidelined, the QB and Me, a 2024 sports drama that explores the quiet strength found in the shadows, the stories of those who support, sacrifice, and fight their own battles off the field. It's a story that asks us to look deeper, to question what it means to be part of a team beyond the spotlight, and to feel beyond the surface of the game. I'm glad you're here, because together we'll unravel the hidden layers, the subtle details, and the little moments that whisper the heart of the film. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. Let's keep exploring these stories that shape how we see the world. Now, settle in, open your mind, and let's dive into the depths of this cinematic journey. The movie unfolds in the intense, emotionally charged world of high school football, but it's far from a simple sports flick. It's a film that pulls back the curtain on the complexities of ambition, friendship, and the silent struggles that often go unnoticed behind the roar of the crowd and the thrill of the game. At first glance, you might think it's about touchdowns and victories, but it's really about the quiet sidelines, the lives of those who cheer from the shadows, whose stories rarely get told. The narrative centers on a young woman named Casey, a passionate and fiercely loyal girl whose world revolves around the high school football team. Her younger brother, a gifted quarterback, is the team's star, and she has been his unwavering supporter since the earliest days of Saturday morning practices and backyard scrimmages. Yet Casey's role is complicated. She's not just the sister. She's the confidant, the strategist, the voice behind the voice, a pillar of strength who carries the weight of family expectations and the pressure of dreams that sometimes feel like they're slipping away. Her journey is one of love, sacrifice, and self-discovery. The film explores the nuances of sibling relationships intertwined with the intense atmosphere of competitive sports, where every pass, every play, carries hopes far beyond the field. But beneath the surface, Casey grapples with her own identity, ambitions, and the harsh realities of being sidelined, not just in games, but in life. This is a coming-of-age story painted against the vivid backdrop of Friday Night Lights, but it is grounded in the quieter moments, late-night conversations, stolen glances, and the steady rhythm of everyday sacrifices. The plot surges forward as Casey navigates the shifting dynamics of the team, the community's high expectations, and the fractures within her family. When her brother suffers a sudden injury, the fragile balance shatters. Suddenly, Casey finds herself thrust into an unfamiliar role, not just as a supporter but as a potential leader, grappling with doubts and insecurities as she steps into uncharted territory. The film captures the raw emotional aftermath of this event, the fear, the uncertainty, and the fierce determination to hold on to hope. What follows is an exhilarating mix of sports drama and heartfelt exploration of resilience. The narrative delves into Casey's efforts to rally the team, mend strained relationships, and confront the unspoken challenges faced by young women in a male-dominated arena. The film doesn't shy away from the tough questions. What does it mean to belong when you're constantly overlooked? How do you find your voice when the world insists you stay quiet? And what sacrifices are worth making for family and dreams? Tension builds as new characters enter the fold, a rival quarterback with his own complex backstory, coaches who harbor their own ambitions and secrets, and friends whose loyalties are tested as the season progresses. These relationships weave a rich tapestry of alliance, rivalry, and unexpected friendship, driving the plot into deeper emotional terrain. Amid the adrenaline of practice drills, heated games, and locker room moments, the film also offers intimate glimpses of vulnerability. A parent struggling to reconcile pride with pressure, a coach wrestling with past regrets, and Casey's quiet moments of reflection where the weight of expectation threatens to overwhelm. These quieter scenes add texture and nuance, reminding us that sports are about more than just the scoreboard. They are about people, their dreams, and their struggles. Visually, the film pulses with energy and authenticity. The camera captures the raw intensity of the game, the snap of the ball, the rush of tackles, the heartbreak of a missed play, with kinetic precision. Yet it also lingers tenderly on the sidelines, where emotions simmer just beneath the surface. A clenched fist, a whispered encouragement, tears fought back in the shadows. This contrast creates a powerful atmosphere where the roar of the crowd meets the silent strength of those watching from the edges. Music weaves seamlessly through the narrative, from the driving rhythms that fuel the on-field action to the softer, introspective melodies that underscore moments of personal growth and connection. The soundtrack becomes a silent narrator, guiding the viewer through the highs and lows, the hopes and heartbreaks, the quiet triumphs that define the characters' journeys. At its core, the film is an exploration of voice, who gets to speak, who is heard, and who remains sidelined. It challenges conventional narratives that celebrate only the visible stars, shining a light on those whose impact is felt behind the scenes. Through Casey's eyes, we see the power of quiet determination, the importance of empathy, and the resilience required to carve out a space in a world that often seems designed to exclude. And just when you think the story has settled into familiar territory, it surprises you. Major twists ripple through the plot, a betrayal that threatens to fracture the fragile bonds of trust, a revelation that reshapes loyalties, and a turning point where Casey must decide how far she is willing to go to protect those she loves and to claim her own place in the story. These moments elevate the film from a straightforward sports drama into a layered narrative that explores the intersections of family, ambition, and identity. As the season builds toward its climactic games, the tension is palpable. The team's future hangs in the balance, and with it, the futures of the characters who have poured their hearts into the fight. The film culminates in a finale that is both electrifying and deeply emotional, where victories and losses are measured not only in points but in courage, growth, and the bonds forged through adversity. This is a story that lingers beyond the final whistle, a film that celebrates the unsung heroes, the strength found in quiet perseverance, and the unbreakable ties of family and friendship. It invites us to reconsider what it means to be a player in life's game and to honor the voices that often go unheard. Prepare to be moved, challenged, and inspired as we delve deeper into this poignant and powerful cinematic journey. The story opens with the warm glow of autumn afternoons settling over a small-town high school, where the football field stands as both a sanctuary and a stage, a place where dreams ignite and futures are forged beneath the bright glare of Friday night lights. Here we meet Casey, a young woman whose life is intricately woven with the rhythms of the game, yet whose presence is often felt more from the sidelines than from the field itself. She moves through the halls with quiet determination. Her eyes always tracking her younger brother, Luke, the talented quarterback whose arm commands attention and whose potential carries the hopes of an entire community. From the outset, the bond between Casey and Luke is palpable, a relationship grounded in years of shared memories, secret encouragements, and unspoken sacrifices. Casey has been his fiercest advocate, the steadfast supporter who knows every play, every rival, and every moment when doubt threatens to creep in. Their connection is tender but complex. She is protector and cheerleader, but also a witness to the pressures that bear down on him, from coaches demanding perfection to parents envisioning scholarships and stardom. The early scenes establish the delicate balance Casey maintains in her life. She juggles schoolwork, part-time jobs, and the constant pull of family expectations. Her own dreams and desires remain in the background, eclipsed by Luke's burgeoning career and the community's relentless focus on the football season. Through her perspective, the audience glimpses the emotional landscape of those who live in the shadow of glory, whose victories are measured not in touchdowns but in the quiet strength of unwavering support. The high school team is introduced with vivid energy, a close-knit group united by camaraderie, competition, and the shared pursuit of excellence. Coaches exhort the players with a mix of discipline and encouragement, aware that this season carries weight beyond the scoreboard. The stakes are clear, college scouts are watching, futures hinge on performance, and every practice counts. Against this backdrop, Casey moves with a blend of familiarity and distance, sometimes a confidant, other times a silent observer. Tension begins to ripple beneath the surface as the season progresses. Luke's talent places him in the spotlight, but with it comes the ever-present pressure to perform flawlessly. The strain is palpable, affecting his demeanor and, in subtle ways, his relationship with Casey. Moments of frustration and vulnerability emerge. Late-night phone calls filled with doubts, terse exchanges that hint at unspoken fears. These scenes deepen the narrative's emotional texture, reminding viewers that the road to success is seldom smooth. A pivotal early event shakes the family's equilibrium. During a critical game, Luke sustains a sudden injury, a moment that halts the season's momentum and casts a long shadow over their hopes. The scene is charged with raw emotion, the silence of the stadium, the rush of medics, the shock etched on teammates' faces. For Casey, this moment marks a profound turning point, igniting a storm of fear, anger, and determination. The injury is not only physical but symbolic, a fracture in the fabric of dreams, a challenge to identity and purpose. In the aftermath, the family grapples with uncertainty. Luke faces surgery and rehabilitation, his future on the field suddenly precarious. Casey steps into a new role, her protective instincts intensifying as she navigates the medical system, attends therapy sessions, and becomes a pillar for her brother's recovery. The film portrays these moments with sensitivity and realism, highlighting the emotional toll that injury inflicts on athletes and their families alike. Parallel to this personal drama, the narrative delves into the broader dynamics of the team and school community. With Luke sidelined, tensions flare as new players vie for the quarterback position. Rivalries simmer beneath the surface, friendships strain under pressure, and coaches wrestle with tough decisions. These developments create a charged atmosphere where loyalty and ambition collide, adding complexity to the unfolding story. Casey's involvement deepens as she finds herself drawn into the team's struggles. Though not a player, her knowledge and passion position her as an informal advisor and motivator. She forms unexpected alliances with teammates and staff, her voice gaining weight as she advocates for unity and resilience. This growing agency signals a shift in her character, from a background supporter to a catalyst within the team's evolving narrative. The film uses these developments to explore themes of belonging and empowerment. Casey's journey mirrors the challenges faced by many young women navigating spaces traditionally dominated by men. Her determination to claim a role, to be seen and heard, resonates as a subtle but powerful undercurrent throughout these early chapters. Moments of levity punctuate the tension, capturing the camaraderie and humor that sustain the characters amid adversity. Whether it's a playful prank in the locker room, an impromptu pep talk, or a quiet joke shared in a hospital waiting room, these scenes humanize the cast and balance the story's emotional weight. A significant subplot emerges involving a rival quarterback whose arrival shakes the team's dynamics. His confident demeanor and athletic prowess ignite competition and challenge established loyalties. The tension between him and Luke, both on and off the field, adds narrative depth, exploring themes of rivalry, jealousy, and the complexity of sportsmanship. Casey's interactions with this newcomer further develop her character's arc, revealing her capacity for empathy and strategic thinking. As the season approaches its midpoint, the film builds toward a crucial game that symbolizes more than a contest of athletic skill. It is a test of resilience, identity, and unity. The team's preparation is fraught with setbacks and breakthroughs, with Casey at the heart of efforts to rally morale and maintain focus. The anticipation is tangible, carried through kinetic training montages and intimate moments of reflection. Throughout this phase, the cinematography captures the contrast between the explosive energy of the game and the quiet moments that shape the characters' inner worlds. Slow-motion shots of tackles and passes are interwoven with close-ups of clenched fists, nervous glances, and whispered encouragements. The film's visual rhythm mirrors the emotional ebb and flow, drawing viewers deeply into the stakes at hand. By this point, Casey's personal journey has taken center stage. Her evolving sense of self, her grappling with feelings of invisibility, and her growing confidence form a compelling emotional core. The film deftly portrays her internal conflicts, the desire to support her brother and team, the yearning to assert her own voice, and the fears that accompany stepping into new roles. The first half culminates in a moment charged with both triumph and uncertainty. The game is hard-fought, the scoreboard tight, and the outcome balanced on a knife's edge. Casey's presence on the sidelines, cheering, strategizing, and standing firm, embodies the spirit of resilience. The sequence is shot with intense energy and intimacy, capturing the raw stakes and the emotional crescendo. The outcome leaves the characters and viewers poised on the brink of change, eager for what comes next. In sum, the opening chapters of this story weave a rich tapestry of sports drama and personal growth. Through vivid character development, authentic portrayal of injury and recovery, and nuanced exploration of team dynamics, the film invites audiences into a world where every pass and every cheer carries profound meaning. It is a tale of quiet courage and fierce loyalty, where the sidelines become a place of strength, and the game is as much about heart as it is about victory. The story intensifies as the season progresses, and the undercurrents of tension ripple more palpably through the halls, the locker rooms, and the hearts of those caught in the web of high school football dreams. Casey, once the steadfast supporter behind her brother and the team, now finds herself thrust deeper into the maelstrom of uncertainty and change. Luke's injury, while initially a devastating blow, becomes a catalyst that reshapes the trajectory not only of their family but of the entire team and community. As challenges mount, alliances shift, and personal growth unfolds, the narrative delves boldly into uncharted emotional territory. With Luke sidelined and recovery dragging longer than anticipated, the team's morale wavers. The pressure to succeed doesn't relent, if anything, it intensifies. The spotlight inevitably turns to the young rival quarterback who had earlier stirred both competition and friction. His presence looms larger now, his confidence sharpening into determination, and, at times, arrogance. This emerging dynamic between the sideline star and his replacement serves as a crucible for exploring themes of identity, worth, and the fragility of fame. Casey's role evolves alongside these changes. Her knowledge of the game, her connection to Luke, and her burgeoning leadership skills position her as a key figure in holding the team's fractured spirit together. Yet, the emotional toll weighs heavily. Moments of doubt creep into her mind. Questions about her own path, the fairness of being in the shadows, and the price of unwavering loyalty. The film masterfully captures these internal struggles through intimate scenes, late-night talks with friends, solitary walks through empty stadiums, and quiet reflections that reveal her layered humanity. As the narrative unfolds, a surprising twist complicates matters further, a revelation that shakes the foundations of trust within the team. An incident on the field exposes fractures beneath the polished surface of camaraderie, hinting at secrets and betrayals that threaten to unravel everything Casey and the others have fought for. This turning point infuses the story with heightened suspense and emotional complexity, as relationships are tested and characters are forced to confront uncomfortable truths. The subplot involving the rival quarterback deepens as his vulnerabilities come to light. What initially appeared as mere confidence begins to reveal cracks, pressure from family expectations, fear of failure, and a desperate need for acceptance. Casey's interactions with him shift from rivalry tinged with resentment to moments of empathy and understanding, illustrating the film's nuanced portrayal of adolescence and competition. This evolution enriches the narrative, reminding viewers that behind every opponent lies a human story. Meanwhile, Luke's rehabilitation becomes a compelling thread, depicted with raw honesty and sensitivity. The physical pain is matched by emotional frustration and fear of obsolescence. The film doesn't shy away from the grueling realities of recovery, the setbacks, the slow progress, and the moments when hope feels tenuous. Through Casey's unwavering support and her brother's quiet determination, the story highlights themes of resilience, patience, and the redefinition of success. Tensions rise as the season approaches its climax. The community's expectations weigh heavily on the team, and every practice, every play carries amplified significance. Casey's leadership is tested in unexpected ways, balancing encouragement with tough truths, navigating rivalries and friendships, and managing her own evolving sense of identity. The film portrays these challenges with depth and nuance, eschewing simplistic resolutions in favor of authentic emotional journeys. The climactic sequence unfolds during the final games of the season, where stakes could not be higher. The atmosphere is electric, a charged mix of anticipation, fear, and hope. The cinematography captures this with visceral intensity, sweeping shots of packed stands, close-ups of sweating faces, and the thunderous rhythm of pounding feet on turf. Each moment is infused with meaning, as victories and losses become metaphorical battlegrounds for personal growth and collective spirit. A key narrative thread weaves through these scenes, the reconciliation of past conflicts and the forging of new alliances. Casey and the rival quarterback, once adversaries, find common ground, their mutual respect growing through shared struggles. Luke's gradual return to the team, whether as player or supporter, symbolizes healing and continuity. The film celebrates these moments of connection, underscoring that success is measured not only by scores but by the strength of relationships. The final game becomes a microcosm of the entire story, a test of character, resilience, and unity. The plays unfold with breathless pacing, each pass and tackle layered with emotional weight. Casey's presence on the sidelines is a steadying force, her voice carrying encouragement and hope. The team's cohesion, forged through trials and triumphs, shines as their greatest asset. The climax balances tension and release, culminating in a moment that is both exhilarating and profoundly human. Resolution comes not with a simple victory or defeat, but with a sense of growth and possibility. The film embraces ambiguity, reflecting the real-world complexity of dreams and setbacks. Characters find peace in their journeys, whether through acceptance, new roles, or the rekindling of family bonds. Casey's transformation, from observer to leader, from sideline to central, resonates as a triumphant affirmation of voice and agency. Visually and sonically, the film sustains its immersive power. The score swells to celebrate moments of triumph and softens to intimate reflections, weaving emotional threads throughout the narrative. Editing maintains a taut rhythm, guiding viewers through the shifting moods and pacing without losing clarity or impact. The use of light and shadow continues to mirror internal and external conflicts, enhancing thematic depth. In its final chapters, the film transcends the boundaries of a typical sports drama. It becomes a meditation on identity, resilience, and the bonds that sustain us. Through the intertwined journeys of Casey, Luke, and their community, it reminds us that the sidelines, though often overlooked, are places of quiet strength, where courage is forged in the face of adversity, and where the game of life plays out in all its complexity. This story leaves viewers not just with the thrill of competition but with a lasting impression of empathy, hope, and the power of perseverance. It honors the unsung heroes, the whispered hopes, and the unbreakable ties that define us all, on and off the field. At the heart of this film lies a tapestry of richly drawn characters whose lives intertwine in a complex dance of ambition, loyalty, vulnerability, and growth. Each figure, whether under the bright stadium lights or lingering in the quiet moments off the field, carries with them a nuanced story, a distinct voice that contributes to the film's emotional depth and narrative resonance. To fully appreciate the weight and warmth of this story, it is essential to explore the layers of its central characters, their motivations, conflicts, and the transformative arcs that define their journeys. Casey stands as the film's emotional core, a character whose strength often unfolds quietly beneath the surface. From the outset, she embodies the paradox of being both fiercely loyal and quietly sidelined. She is the sister who has long lived in the shadow of her brother's rising star, the passionate fan whose knowledge of the game rivals the coach's but whose own dreams remain unspoken. Casey's complexity arises from this tension, the pull between support and self-assertion, between belonging and the desire to step into her own light. Her resilience is not the loud, brash kind often celebrated in sports narratives, but a steady, determined endurance. The film charts her evolution with care, capturing moments of doubt, frustration, and longing that make her profoundly relatable. Whether juggling school, part-time jobs, or family responsibilities, Casey's internal world is richly textured. Her humor, quick wit, and unyielding dedication to those she loves anchor her character in humanity. Through her eyes, viewers experience the bittersweet reality of being close to greatness while feeling unseen, a universal theme that resonates beyond the football field. Luke, Casey's younger brother, is both a beacon of promise and a figure marked by vulnerability. His talent on the field is undeniable, a natural gift that earns admiration and expectation. Yet, the film refuses to reduce him to mere athletic prowess. His character is imbued with a quiet sensitivity, a struggle to navigate the pressures of performance, injury, and the burden of family hopes. Luke's injury serves as a critical narrative fulcrum, exposing not only physical fragility but emotional complexity. His journey through recovery is portrayed with honesty, the frustration of setbacks, the fear of obsolescence, and the evolving understanding of self-worth beyond the scoreboard. Luke's relationship with Casey is tender and fraught with nuance. They share moments of warmth and tension, revealing sibling dynamics shaped by protection, rivalry, and unspoken fears. His reliance on Casey for support contrasts with his own desire to appear strong and invincible, creating a layered portrait of brotherhood that anchors much of the film's emotional resonance. Delilah, the rival quarterback introduced partway through the story, emerges as a compelling counterpoint. At first glance, she is confident, even cocky, a stark contrast to Luke's more reserved nature. But as the narrative unfolds, Delilah's character reveals depth and vulnerability. Her confidence masks insecurities tied to family expectations, the weight of proving herself in a male-dominated arena, and the loneliness that often accompanies competition. Delilah's interactions with Casey shift from antagonism to a complicated, begrudging respect, illustrating themes of empathy and shared struggle. Delilah challenges traditional gender roles within the sports narrative, bringing a fresh perspective on ambition and resilience. Her presence forces Casey and Luke to confront their own biases and fears, enriching the story's exploration of identity and inclusion. Her journey is one of self-acceptance and the courage to claim space, resonating with broader conversations about representation and empowerment. Coach Simmons, the team's head coach, serves as a figure of authority and complexity. His character balances discipline and encouragement, embodying the pressures inherent in youth sports. He is tasked not only with winning games but with shaping young lives, a responsibility that weighs heavily. The film peels back layers of his persona to reveal a man grappling with past regrets, hopes for his players, and the fine line between pushing limits and nurturing well-being. Coach Simmons' evolving relationship with Casey and the team adds depth to the narrative, highlighting themes of mentorship and generational conflict. Supporting characters, the loyal teammates, parents, and school staff, populate the film's world with texture and authenticity. Each brings their own story, motivations, and challenges, reflecting the diverse experiences woven into the fabric of a small-town community. Through their interactions, the film explores themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and the complex social dynamics surrounding competitive sports. The ensemble's strength lies in its portrayal of flawed, relatable individuals whose journeys intersect and diverge. The film resists simplistic categorizations of hero and villain, instead offering multifaceted portrayals that invite empathy and reflection. This complexity is particularly evident in moments of conflict and reconciliation, where characters reveal hidden fears, regrets, and hopes. Visually and narratively, the characters are crafted with attention to detail. Costuming and physicality underscore their personalities and arcs. Casey's practical attire and expressive gestures communicate her grounded nature and emotional resilience. Luke's athletic build and subtle changes post-injury convey vulnerability and determination. Delilah's confident posture and evolving expressions trace her journey towards self-empowerment. These elements work in concert with dialogue and performance to create vivid, memorable portraits. The film also explores the psychological dimensions of competition and identity. Characters grapple with self-doubt, fear of failure, and the desire for acceptance. Their struggles are portrayed with sensitivity, avoiding clichés and fostering genuine connection. The narrative emphasizes that growth often arises through adversity, that strength includes vulnerability, and that belonging is found not only in triumph but in shared humanity. Ultimately, the character dynamics drive the film's emotional impact and thematic depth. Through Casey's evolving role, Luke's resilience, Delilah's defiance, and Coach Simmons' guidance, the story becomes a rich exploration of the complexities of youth, ambition, and family. It celebrates the quiet heroes, the supporters, the sidelined, the underestimated, whose journeys are no less profound or inspiring than those in the spotlight. This nuanced character study invites viewers to reflect on their own experiences of identity, loyalty, and growth. It underscores the power of empathy and understanding in bridging divides, and the importance of finding one's voice amid the noise of expectations. Through its richly developed cast, the film transcends the confines of sports drama to offer a universal meditation on what it means to fight, to hope, and to belong. Behind the polished glow of stadium lights and the charged intensity of game day drama, the making of this film unfolded with its own surprising twists, curious moments, and unexpected detours that mirror the unpredictable nature of the story itself. This nuanced character study invites viewers to reflect on their own experiences of identity, loyalty, and growth. It underscores the power of empathy and understanding in bridging divides, and the importance of finding one's voice amid the noise of expectations. Through its richly developed cast, the film transcends the confines of sports drama to offer a universal meditation on what it means to fight, to hope, and to belong. Behind the polished glow of stadium lights and the charged intensity of game day drama, the making of this film unfolded with its own surprising twists, curious moments, and unexpected detours that mirror the unpredictable nature of the story itself. As the cameras rolled and the cast and crew brought this heartfelt narrative to life, a wealth of fascinating and sometimes downright strange stories emerged. Little-known details that reveal the human spirit, the challenges of filmmaking, and the playful moments that often go unnoticed in the final cut. Peeling back the curtain on the production reveals a rich tapestry of creativity, resilience, and serendipity. One of the most intriguing facets of the production was how the filmmakers sought authenticity in portraying the world of high school football, down to the smallest details. To capture the realism of practices, games, and locker room culture, the cast underwent intense training with former coaches and players. The lead actress, who plays Casey, immersed herself in the sport far beyond the script, attending countless drills and even joining local teams for practice sessions. This commitment to authenticity brought a palpable energy to her performance, but it also led to some amusing mishaps. During one particularly vigorous practice, she famously slipped on wet turf and sent a fellow actor sprawling, an accident that sparked laughter and camaraderie rather than tension. The filming of game sequences presented a logistical puzzle. Shooting dynamic football scenes required coordination among dozens of extras, stunt coordinators, camera operators, and the principal cast, all while preserving the fluidity and intensity of real games. One particularly unusual occurrence happened during a night shoot of a climactic game scene. As the actors and crew braved the cold, a sudden thunderstorm rolled in, soaking equipment and forcing a temporary halt. Instead of frustration, the director embraced the downpour, adjusting lighting and camera angles to capture a moody, rain-soaked atmosphere that ended up adding emotional weight to the scene. This spontaneous decision became a defining visual element of the film's look, illustrating how unexpected challenges can spark creative breakthroughs. The film's set design also contains hidden quirks and stories. The locker room, a central location, was meticulously constructed to feel lived in and authentic. Props included personal items supposedly left behind by fictional players, journals, photographs, and trophies, many of which were actually created by the art department but took on lives of their own. Some cast members became enamored with these details, writing imagined backstories for their characters based on the objects. This playful engagement deepened their performances and enriched the on-screen world with subtle realism. Music played a vital role not only in setting tone but in creating a collaborative spirit on set. The composer incorporated sounds recorded during filming, such as the thud of footballs, the murmur of crowds, and even the creak of cleats on turf, into the score. This blending of diegetic and non-diegetic sound created an immersive experience that tied music tightly to the narrative. In one memorable session, musicians experimented with unconventional instruments, like percussion created from tapping helmets and clapping in unison, to craft rhythmic motifs that echoed the film's themes of teamwork and perseverance. One of the strangest yet endearing facts involves the mascot costume used during crowd scenes. The character, meant to embody school spirit, proved surprisingly heavy and hot, causing the performer inside to faint during a long shoot. This incident led to the costume's redesign for better ventilation and lighter materials. On the lighter side, the mascot became a source of spontaneous entertainment on set, often breaking into improvised dances that lifted morale during grueling days. Casting brought its own stories. The young actor portraying Luke, the quarterback, had little prior football experience but trained extensively with professional coaches. His dedication impressed the entire crew, yet during one take, a well-intended but mistimed tackle resulted in a minor collision with the director, who had stepped too close. Thankfully, all laughed off the incident, but it became an inside joke that underscored the high energy and good spirits permeating the set. The rival quarterback's actor brought a unique flair to the role, contributing to script rewrites that injected subtle humor and layered characterization. His improvisations during rehearsals were so well received that several lines were incorporated into the final cut. His off-screen interactions with the lead actress also fostered a dynamic that translated into authentic on-screen tension and unexpected warmth, enriching the narrative's emotional depth. Behind the scenes, the crew faced numerous challenges typical of location filming. One filming site, a historic high school stadium, required careful scheduling to avoid conflicts with local events. During one shoot, an unplanned pep rally coincided with filming, leading to a spontaneous merging of real and staged crowd scenes that heightened authenticity. The noise and energy of the actual crowd injected a vibrancy that artificial extras could never replicate. Costume design for the film involved intricate detail work to reflect character development and themes. The titular sideline motif was reflected subtly in wardrobe choices, the contrast between vibrant team colors and more subdued, off-field attire symbolizing the divide between public glory and private struggles. The lead actress's costumes evolved throughout the film, mirroring Casey's growing confidence and assertiveness. The production's commitment to inclusivity extended beyond casting. Consultants were engaged to ensure sensitive and accurate representation of gender dynamics within the traditionally male-dominated football culture. This dedication influenced both script revisions and character interactions, fostering a nuanced portrayal that avoids stereotypes while celebrating diversity. Editing sessions revealed surprising discoveries. Early cuts of certain game sequences felt too chaotic or confusing, prompting the editor to experiment with slower pacing and focused close-ups that brought emotional clarity without sacrificing excitement. These adjustments transformed action-heavy scenes into moments of tension and intimacy, deepening audience engagement. Marketing campaigns for the film leaned into its blend of sports drama and heartfelt coming-of-age story. Interactive promotions included football clinics led by cast members and virtual reality experiences that put fans in the huddle, fostering community and anticipation. One particularly quirky event featured a sideline selfie booth where fans could mimic the protagonist's signature cheer pose, blending fun with emotional connection. In sum, the strangest and most fascinating facts about the making of this film reveal a production filled with heart, humor, and creativity. From unplanned weather-enhanced scenes to costume mishaps, improvised lines, and collaborative storytelling, the journey behind the camera was as compelling as the story unfolding on screen. These behind-the-scenes tales enrich our appreciation, reminding us that filmmaking is a living, breathing process where challenges spark innovation, and every detail, no matter how small, can become a thread in the fabric of a memorable cinematic experience. Beneath the surface of Sidelined, the QB and Me lies a narrative ripe with layers that reward close, thoughtful examination. What might initially appear as a straightforward sports drama gradually reveals itself as a complex meditation on identity, belonging, and resilience, a story where pivotal events are not merely plot devices, but mirrors reflecting broader human truths. Exploring these significant moments from a critical perspective allows us to appreciate how the film crafts emotional depth, thematic richness, and cultural resonance, all of which contributed to its compelling impact and reception. From the outset, the film positions its narrative tension around the delicate balance between visibility and invisibility, a theme embodied by the protagonist Casey's experience. One of the earliest critical moments arises with Luke's injury, a sudden rupture in the trajectory of expected success that disrupts not just the season but the emotional equilibrium of family and team. This event serves as a catalyst, shattering illusions of invincibility and forcing characters to confront vulnerability. Critically, the film treats this injury not as a mere obstacle but as a profound turning point that challenges the traditional glorification of physical prowess. It invites viewers to witness the psychological and social fallout, the uncertainty, fear, and reevaluation of self-worth that accompanies such a rupture. The portrayal of this event is striking in its realism and empathy. Rather than dramatizing the injury with sensationalism, the film dwells on the quiet moments. The empty locker room, the worried looks exchanged in hospital halls, the slow and painful process of rehabilitation. This choice deepens the narrative's emotional resonance and invites reflection on the often unseen costs of competitive sports. Critics praise this approach for its honesty and sensitivity, highlighting the film's refusal to reduce athletes to mere machines of performance. Another key event ripe for analysis is the shifting dynamic within the team as Luke recovers and a rival quarterback steps into the spotlight. This development introduces a layered exploration of competition and identity. The newcomer's confident, sometimes abrasive demeanor contrasts sharply with Luke's vulnerability and Casey's quiet strength. Their interactions expose underlying tensions about belonging and acceptance, particularly in a culture that valorizes winners and sidelines those who falter. From a critical viewpoint, this rivalry transcends sports to touch on societal issues of gender, privilege, and power structures. Delilah's character, in particular, challenges the traditionally masculine space of high school football, confronting both external skepticism and internal pressures. The film uses her storyline to interrogate how marginalized voices navigate spaces not built for them, highlighting themes of resilience and agency. Critics noted this dimension as a refreshing subversion of genre norms, applauding the nuanced portrayal of female athletes and their struggles. The interpersonal conflicts and alliances that arise in this crucible add rich complexity. Moments of betrayal, misunderstanding, and reconciliation unfold with emotional authenticity, avoiding simplistic resolutions. For instance, when a teammate's loyalty is questioned, the fallout reverberates beyond the field, touching on themes of trust, forgiveness, and the fragility of community. These events serve as narrative fulcrums, deepening character development and reinforcing the story's central message, that belonging is forged not only through shared victories but through navigating hardship together. The film's climax, both the final game and the personal reckonings that accompany it, merits close critical attention. The sequence is crafted as a microcosm of the entire narrative, where external action and internal transformation intersect. The cinematography and editing escalate tension, weaving moments of triumph and setback in a rhythm that mirrors the emotional stakes. The juxtaposition of roaring crowds and intimate character reactions creates a layered experience that invites viewers into both the spectacle and the human heart of the story. Critically, the climax's emotional payoff is not measured solely in athletic success but in growth and reconciliation. The resolution honors the complexities of adolescence, family dynamics, and personal identity, offering a nuanced affirmation of resilience and hope. This thematic richness contributes to the film's enduring impact, resonating with audiences who see their own struggles reflected in the characters' journeys throughout the narrative. The film engages with broader cultural conversations. Its exploration of sidelined voices, those overshadowed by traditional definitions of success, speaks to contemporary dialogues about inclusion, representation, and the value of diverse experiences. Critics highlighted how the film elevates these themes without didacticism, weaving them organically into character arcs and plot developments. The film's reception reflects its success in balancing entertainment with emotional and thematic depth. Viewers and critics alike praise the authentic performances, the thoughtful storytelling, and the sensitive treatment of complex issues. The emotional honesty and the refusal to simplify adolescent experience were frequently noted as strengths that set the film apart in a crowded genre. In sum, the significant events within the film operate not merely as narrative milestones but as critical lenses through which to examine identity, power, and belonging. The injury that disrupts Luke's trajectory, the rivalry and alliance with Delilah, and the climactic confrontation on and off the field all function as sites of thematic exploration and emotional resonance. These moments invite audiences to engage deeply, reflect critically, and connect personally, elevating the film beyond its surface to a work of meaningful storytelling that lingers long after the credits roll. Behind every captivating frame and every heartfelt moment in this film lies a tapestry of creativity, collaboration, and countless hours of tireless effort. The making of Sidelined, The QB and Me was as rich and layered as the story it tells, filled with fascinating production insights, unexpected challenges, and amusing anecdotes that give a glimpse into the human heart of filmmaking. These behind-the-scenes stories not only illuminate how the film was crafted, but also deepen our appreciation for the artistry and dedication required to bring such an emotionally resonant narrative to life. From the very earliest stages, the filmmakers were committed to authenticity. Knowing that the film would revolve around the nuanced world of high school football and the personal journeys of those entwined in it, the creative team embarked on a thorough exploration of the sport and its culture. The director and producers consulted with former players, coaches, and sports psychologists to understand the pressures, dynamics, and emotional realities faced by young athletes and their families. This research shaped the script and informed directorial choices, ensuring that the portrayal went beyond clichés and stereotypes to reveal a genuine, textured world. Casting played a pivotal role in achieving this authenticity. The lead actress, tasked with portraying Casey's subtle strength and layered emotions, underwent intensive preparation. Beyond acting workshops, she trained with football coaches to learn the language of the game, understand play calls, and immerse herself in the physicality and rhythm of practice sessions. Her dedication paid off in a natural performance that resonated with both sports fans and those unfamiliar with the game. Stories from rehearsals highlight moments where her curiosity and willingness to dive deep into the world of football helped forge strong bonds with cast and crew alike. The young actor who played Luke, the star quarterback, also committed wholeheartedly to his role, despite limited prior experience in the sport. His transformation was both physical and emotional, training for months to build athletic endurance and working with the director to embody the vulnerability beneath his character's confident exterior. On set, his genuine enthusiasm for learning football inspired his fellow actors and helped create an atmosphere of collective growth and discovery. The rivalry between Luke and the character Delilah was brought to life with equal care. The actress portraying Delilah underwent specialized training to authentically depict a female athlete challenging norms in a male-dominated arena. She also contributed to the development of her character's arc, collaborating with writers to ensure her portrayal balanced strength with nuance. Off-camera, her friendly yet competitive rapport with Luke's actor added layers of chemistry that translated seamlessly to the screen. Filming the football sequences was one of the most technically demanding aspects of the production. Coordinating complex choreography involving dozens of extras, stunt coordinators, and camera crews required meticulous planning. The director favored a blend of practical stunts and dynamic camera work over heavy CGI, aiming to capture the raw intensity and unpredictability of real games. One memorable anecdote recounts a challenging night shoot where a key scene involving a dramatic touchdown had to be reset multiple times due to weather conditions and lighting issues. Despite the frustrations, the cast and crew maintained a positive spirit, turning each delay into an opportunity for improvisation and bonding. The stadium used for many scenes was a real high school facility, selected for its authentic feel and community spirit. Local residents were actively involved as extras, bringing genuine enthusiasm that enriched crowd scenes with real-life energy. The filmmakers also organized workshops and Q&A sessions with the community, fostering goodwill and deepening the film's roots in the world it portrayed. Set and costume design were crafted to support the story's themes subtly. The locker room, a central locale, was built with meticulous attention to detail, from the worn benches and scattered playbooks to personal items that hinted at the lives of unseen players. Costume designers chose uniforms and casual wear that evolved along with the characters, reflecting their growth and internal struggles. The Sidelined theme extended into visual motifs, muted tones for moments of doubt, vibrant colors during scenes of triumph and connection. Sound design was another realm where the filmmakers innovated. The team layered authentic environmental sounds, echoes of whistles, the bounce of the football, the murmur of crowds, with carefully designed audio effects that heightened emotional beats. The score was developed in close collaboration with the director and sound designers, blending orchestral strings with contemporary rhythms to reflect the film's blend of tradition and modernity. Recording sessions included the use of unconventional instruments and found sounds, some sourced directly from practice fields and locker rooms, lending the music an organic, lived-in texture. One behind-the-scenes highlight was the spirit on set, fueled by a cast and crew that bonded over shared commitment and humor. Long shooting days were punctuated by moments of levity, improvised jokes, spontaneous dances in between takes, and friendly competitions that kept morale high. The lead actors became close friends, supporting each other through emotionally intense scenes and celebrating milestones together. Crew members often spoke of the palpable sense of purpose that infused the production, a shared desire to tell a story that mattered. The director, known for a collaborative approach, encouraged improvisation and input from actors during filming, leading to organic moments that enriched the script. Several key emotional scenes were refined on set, based on the actors' instincts and the mood of the moment, resulting in performances that felt raw and deeply human. This openness fostered trust and creativity, creating a safe space for vulnerability that translated powerfully on screen. Visual effects were employed sparingly but effectively, enhancing crucial moments without overwhelming the film's grounded tone. For example, slow-motion shots of tackles or catches were subtly augmented to emphasize impact and emotion. The visual effects team worked closely with the cinematographer and editor to ensure seamless integration, maintaining narrative clarity and emotional authenticity. Editing was a delicate balancing act. The editor's challenge was to maintain the story's emotional intimacy while sustaining the kinetic energy of game sequences. Through rhythmic cuts, thoughtful pacing, and careful interweaving of personal and athletic storylines, the editing shaped a narrative flow that kept audiences engaged on multiple levels. Test screenings influenced refinements, particularly in trimming scenes that risked slowing momentum or diluting emotional focus. Marketing efforts mirrored the film's dual emphasis on sports excitement and emotional storytelling. Campaigns highlighted the dynamic performances and authentic portrayal of high school football culture, using social media to share behind-the-scenes glimpses and athlete endorsements. Interactive events invited fans to experience the thrill of the game and connect with the film's themes of perseverance and belonging. In reflection, the making of Sidelined, the QB and Me exemplifies the collaborative artistry and human spirit behind filmmaking. Its production journey, marked by dedication, innovation, and moments of joyful spontaneity, imbued the film with the authenticity and emotional power that resonates so strongly with audiences. The fascinating facts and stories from the set enrich our understanding of how stories are shaped by passion, resilience, and the unyielding pursuit of truth beneath the spotlight. The world of Sidelined, the QB and Me is a living, breathing entity, shaped as much by the spaces its characters inhabit as by the emotions they carry. From the crackling energy of the football field to the quiet corners of homes and classrooms, the settings weave a rich visual tapestry that grounds the story in authenticity and heightens its emotional impact. This film understands that setting is more than mere backdrop, it's an active participant, amplifying themes, echoing character journeys, and immersing the audience in a world that feels palpably real and deeply resonant. At the center of this cinematic universe is the high school stadium, the epicenter of hopes, dreams, and the tensions that pulse beneath the surface. Filmed at an actual local stadium known for its storied history and passionate community, this location was chosen for its raw authenticity and evocative atmosphere. The stadium is presented in sweeping shots that capture the vastness of the bleachers, the crisp lines of the turf, and the shimmering floodlights piercing the dusk. These images immediately establish a sense of scale and stakes, immersing viewers in the communal ritual of Friday night football, where the hopes of a town, and the futures of its youth, are laid bare under blazing lights. The filmmakers use the stadium not just as a setting for athletic competition, but as a symbolic arena where personal and social dramas unfold. The stands are often crowded with fervent fans whose cheers and murmurs become a soundtrack to the characters' triumphs and struggles. Cinematographer choices emphasize this duality. Wide panoramic shots show the sprawling crowd, underscoring community and shared passion, while tight close-ups reveal faces filled with tension, pride, and anxiety. This juxtaposition conveys the intimate human stakes beneath public spectacle. Beyond the stadium, the film carefully crafts its smaller, more intimate settings to deepen emotional texture. The family home, with its lived-in warmth and scattered memorabilia of past games and victories, becomes a sanctuary and sometimes a place of quiet conflict. The film lingers on personal objects, a football helmet on a shelf, a worn photograph, a handwritten note, infusing these spaces with history and meaning. Through lighting and composition, these domestic scenes are suffused with a softness that contrasts with the sharp intensity of the field, inviting reflection on family bonds and personal sacrifice. Classrooms, hallways, and local hangouts further flesh out the community's fabric. These everyday spaces, rendered with naturalistic detail, ground the story in the rhythms of adolescent life beyond the game. The bustling corridors, the murmur of whispered conversations, the graffiti on lockers, they all contribute to a sensory world that feels lived in and authentic. The filmmakers employ warm, muted color palettes in these scenes, reinforcing the themes of growth, uncertainty, and the search for belonging. The setting of medical and rehabilitation facilities introduces a stark tonal shift. Here, sterile corridors and clinical lighting reflect the harsh realities of injury and recovery. The contrast between these environments and the vibrancy of the stadium underscores the emotional and physical journey faced by the characters. Scenes in these spaces are often shot with a cooler, subdued palette, emphasizing vulnerability and the arduous path to healing. Cinematographically, the film is a masterclass in balancing kinetic energy with intimate stillness. During game sequences, the camera becomes a participant in the action, tracking alongside players with fluid movements that immerse viewers in the rush of competition. Handheld shots convey urgency and chaos during tackles and scrambles, while aerial drone footage offers sweeping vistas that situate the game within the larger community. Slow motion is employed sparingly but effectively to heighten moments of impact, capturing the grace and brutality of athletic endeavor. The visual language extends beyond movement to lighting and color. Natural light dominates outdoor scenes, shifting with the time of day to reflect narrative progression and mood. Golden hour shots bathe characters in warm hues, symbolizing hope and possibility, while dusk and nighttime scenes employ cooler tones and artificial lighting to convey tension and uncertainty. The interplay of light and shadow becomes a metaphor for the characters' internal struggles, with chiaroscuro effects accentuating moments of doubt and revelation. Color grading further enhances emotional nuance. The film employs a palette that evolves with the story, vibrant greens and blues during scenes of camaraderie and growth, shifting toward grays and muted earth tones in moments of hardship. This subtle modulation guides the viewer's emotional response, reinforcing themes without overt exposition. Production design complements these visual strategies with an eye for detail and symbolism. Uniforms and athletic gear are rendered with authenticity, reflecting real-world designs while serving narrative purposes. For example, the contrast between the star quarterback's pristine jersey and the more worn gear of sidelined players visually underscores themes of visibility and exclusion. Props, from playbooks to family mementos, are carefully selected to enrich character backstories and emotional subtext. Sound design plays an equally vital role in shaping atmosphere. Ambient stadium noises, cheering crowds, referee whistles, the thud of leather on turf, are layered with subtle background sounds that anchor scenes in reality. The film's soundscape extends to quieter moments as well, where hushed conversations, footsteps in empty hallways, and the rustle of clothing become intimate audio cues that heighten tension and connection. The musical score is woven seamlessly into this sonic tapestry. It marries orchestral swells with contemporary rhythms, reflecting the film's blend of timeless themes and modern adolescence. The composer uses motifs to underscore key characters and moments, rising themes that accompany Casey's moments of empowerment, tender melodies during family scenes, and driving beats that propel the game sequences. This integration creates an emotional undercurrent that guides the viewer through the story's peaks and valleys. Editing techniques further shape the film's rhythm and tone. The juxtaposition of fast-paced game sequences with lingering, contemplative shots off the field creates a dynamic narrative flow. Cross-cutting between simultaneous events builds tension, while transitions marked by changes in lighting or sound signal shifts in mood. The editors balance clarity with complexity, ensuring that viewers remain engaged without being overwhelmed. The film also employs symbolic visual motifs that recur throughout, enriching thematic depth. For instance, shots of shadows stretching across the field or reflections in windows suggest duality, the seen and unseen, the played and the sidelined. These elements invite viewers to look beyond the immediate action and consider the broader emotional landscape. Together, these settings and cinematic choices create a cohesive world that feels both specific and universal. The authenticity of the environments grounds the story, while the artistic flourishes invite emotional and intellectual engagement. The film's atmosphere, alternately charged with adrenaline, tinged with nostalgia, and suffused with quiet reflection, immerses viewers in a lived experience of youth, ambition, and resilience. Ultimately, the film's careful attention to setting and cinematic elements transforms it from a sports story into a richly textured exploration of life's complexities. Each location, lighting choice, camera movement, and sound cue is a brushstroke in a larger canvas that captures the vibrancy and fragility of growing up in the shadow of dreams and expectations. It's a world where every detail matters, where the sidelines are as significant as the spotlight, and where the game is a metaphor for the struggle to find one's place and voice. In this evocative setting, the characters' stories unfold with greater poignancy, drawing viewers into an immersive journey that lingers long after the final whistle. Beneath the gleaming floodlights and the tightly choreographed plays of Sidelined, The QB and Me lies an equally compelling story, one woven through the laughter, challenges, and human connections that shape the film's journey from script to screen. Behind the scenes, the cast and crew faced an adventure of their own, filled with unexpected moments of joy, hurdles to overcome, and a spirit of collaboration that infused the production with warmth and vitality. These stories of the making bring to life the very essence of the film's themes: resilience, community, and the quiet strength that emerges when people come together to create something meaningful. One of the earliest tales from the set centers on the lead actress's immersion into the world of football. Though already a gifted performer, she approached the role with an admirable thirst for authenticity. Determined to embody Casey's passion and knowledge, she spent months training with local high school teams, learning not only the physical movements of the game but the language and culture surrounding it. Her coaches recall how she would arrive early and stay late, asking questions that revealed her commitment to truly understanding the sport and its emotional weight. This dedication helped break down barriers with the male players, earning their respect and fostering an environment of mutual learning. This commitment extended to the young actor playing Luke. His transformation from novice to believable quarterback required grueling physical preparation. Early mornings filled with conditioning drills and play rehearsals pushed him to new limits, and during one particularly intense practice, he suffered a minor ankle sprain. Rather than dampen spirits, the injury brought the cast and crew closer, as everyone rallied to support him through recovery, reinforcing the themes of perseverance and teamwork central to the film's narrative. Filming the game sequences was a massive undertaking that demanded meticulous planning and flexibility. Coordinating dozens of extras, stunt coordinators, camera operators, and actors required a choreography almost as complex as the plays on the field. The director insisted on shooting in real stadiums, capturing the authentic roar of the crowd and the atmosphere of Friday night games. One memorable evening shoot was nearly derailed when an unexpected power outage plunged the stadium into darkness just as the cameras started rolling. The crew's quick thinking and improvisation, using portable lights and adjusting the shooting schedule, turned what could have been a disaster into an opportunity to film a dramatic, shadow-filled scene that later became a highlight of the film. The locker room set became a lively hub of creativity and camaraderie. Designed to feel worn-in and realistic, it featured countless small details: team posters, scattered gear, personal notes, that helped actors inhabit their roles more fully. Many cast members took to writing their own character backstories and improvising locker room banter between takes, creating organic moments that made it into the final film. The director fostered this playful atmosphere, encouraging improvisation and open collaboration, which deepened the authenticity of relationships portrayed on screen. One particularly charming anecdote involves the mascot costume used during crowd scenes. The suit, bulky and heavy, proved surprisingly challenging to wear, especially during hot days. On one occasion, the performer inside fainted due to heat exhaustion, prompting immediate changes to the costume's design, including the addition of ventilation and lighter materials. This incident, while alarming, sparked a series of light-hearted moments on set, as the mascot became something of a beloved prankster, breaking into spontaneous dances and antics that lifted morale during long shoots. The chemistry between the lead actress and the actor playing Delilah was palpable from their first rehearsals. Initially cast as rivals, their off-screen friendship blossomed quickly, leading to genuine moments of warmth and teasing that enriched their performances. During downtime, the two would engage in friendly competitions, trivia games, dance-offs, and sports challenges that kept the energy high and brought an infectious joy to the set. Crew members often remarked that their playful rapport translated into a nuanced and compelling on-screen dynamic, blending tension with unexpected tenderness. Behind the scenes, the production faced the usual array of challenges inherent in filmmaking, compounded by the desire for authenticity and emotional honesty. Weather was a frequent obstacle. Several outdoor shoots coincided with rainstorms or unseasonably cold temperatures. Rather than postpone, the crew embraced these elements, using them to heighten the film's atmosphere. One rain-soaked practice scene, filmed under pouring skies, gained a raw, visceral intensity that would have been difficult to stage artificially. The actors' willingness to perform in challenging conditions underscored their dedication and added depth to their portrayals. Logistical complexities abounded as well. Securing locations that matched the script's vision required extensive scouting and negotiation. One of the main filming sites, a historic local high school, demanded tight scheduling to accommodate school activities and community events. The production team worked closely with administrators, parents, and local officials to minimize disruptions and foster goodwill. This collaboration extended to hiring local extras, many of whom were passionate football fans eager to be part of the project, infusing scenes with genuine enthusiasm. Costume design was another area where attention to detail and collaboration shone. The wardrobe team meticulously sourced and crafted uniforms, casual wear, and accessories to reflect the characters' personalities and arcs. The lead actress's evolving wardrobe mirrored Casey's growing confidence, from subdued tones to bolder choices, visually narrating her journey. On one occasion, a uniform sizing issue caused a wardrobe malfunction during a critical scene, leading to a spontaneous on-set wardrobe adjustment that became an inside joke among the cast. Sound design and musical scoring sessions added another layer of collaborative creativity. The composer worked closely with the director and sound team, integrating ambient sounds recorded on set, footsteps on turf, whistles, murmurs of the crowd, into the musical landscape. One innovative moment involved capturing the rhythmic clapping of players during practice and transforming it into a percussive motif that underscored the film's themes of unity and perseverance. Recording sessions were lively affairs, with musicians experimenting with unconventional instruments to evoke the texture of the football world. The editing process was marked by a spirit of refinement and responsiveness. Test screenings provided valuable feedback, prompting the team to adjust pacing, clarify emotional beats, and enhance narrative flow. Editors worked meticulously to balance the kinetic energy of game sequences with the intimacy of character-driven moments, ensuring the film maintained emotional coherence without sacrificing excitement. Several scenes were reworked to heighten tension or deepen relational dynamics, a testament to the team's commitment to storytelling excellence. Marketing efforts embraced the film's blend of heartfelt drama and sports excitement. Promotional events included football clinics led by cast members, interactive fan experiences, and social media campaigns that shared behind-the-scenes glimpses. One particularly memorable event was a Sidelined selfie booth that invited fans to recreate Casey's signature cheer pose, fostering a playful connection between the audience and the film's spirit. Reflecting on the production reveals a tapestry woven from dedication, creativity, and human connection. The strangest, most memorable moments, from weather surprises and mascot mishaps to impromptu dances and on-set competitions, illustrate the joyful unpredictability of filmmaking. The camaraderie among cast and crew, their willingness to adapt and collaborate, and their shared passion for telling this story imbued the film with an authenticity that resonates deeply on screen. These behind-the-scenes insights enrich our understanding and appreciation, reminding us that every cinematic journey is shaped not only by scripts and cameras but by the people who bring stories to life with heart, humor, and resilience. Just as the characters in the film find strength in community and perseverance, so too did the makers of this film find their way through challenges to create a work that celebrates the quiet heroes, the sidelined voices, and the power of hope. In the quiet spaces between the roar of the crowd and the sharp whistle of the referee, Sidelined, the QB and Me unfolds as a rich exploration of themes that resonate far beyond the gridiron. At its core, the film is a meditation on identity, belonging, resilience, and the complex interplay of visibility and invisibility. Through subtle symbolism woven into its narrative fabric, it invites us to contemplate not just the glory of the game, but the human stories that often remain unseen, the sacrifices, the struggles, and the quiet courage of those who exist on the margins. Diving deep into these themes reveals how they shape the plot, enrich the characters, and infuse the film with profound emotional and cultural resonance. One of the film's most compelling themes is the tension between visibility and invisibility, the contrast between being in the spotlight and standing on the sidelines. This is embodied most poignantly in Casey's character, whose life revolves around the star quarterback but who herself wrestles with a sense of being overlooked. The sidelines are literal and metaphorical spaces in the film, representing both exclusion and potential. They are places where hope and frustration coexist, where silent strength grows, and where identities are forged in the absence of acclaim. This theme extends beyond Casey to encompass broader questions of recognition and value. The film challenges the notion that worth is determined solely by public achievement or visibility. Through moments of intimate connection and personal triumph, it reveals how influence and courage often manifest quietly, through steadfast support and uncelebrated labor. The narrative invites viewers to reconsider who the heroes are, suggesting that the sidelines hold their own kind of glory. The symbolism of the football field itself is central to these explorations. The gridiron, with its marked lines and defined zones, becomes a stage on which not only athletic competition but also social and emotional dynamics play out. The field represents structure, rules, and expectations, elements that both guide and constrain the characters. Crossing the boundaries of the field often symbolizes stepping beyond prescribed roles, taking risks, or confronting new realities. Colors and visual motifs deepen this symbolism. The team's vibrant uniforms contrast with the muted tones of sideline clothing and off-field scenes, visually delineating those in the spotlight from those in support roles. This color differentiation underscores themes of inclusion and exclusion, privilege and marginalization. Moreover, recurring imagery, such as shadows stretching across the field or reflections caught in windows, echoes the duality of appearance and essence, highlighting the tension between public persona and private self. Resilience emerges as another foundational theme, interwoven with the narrative's emotional core. Luke's injury and the subsequent struggle for recovery serve as powerful metaphors for overcoming adversity, redefining success, and discovering strength in vulnerability. The film resists romanticizing hardship, instead presenting resilience as a complex, ongoing process marked by setbacks, doubts, and gradual progress. This portrayal resonates through Casey's journey as well, as she learns to assert herself and find agency within and beyond the sidelines. Family and community form a thematic thread that grounds the film in relational dynamics. The bonds between siblings, parents, coaches, and teammates illustrate how identity and belonging are co-constructed within networks of support and expectation. The film examines how these relationships can both empower and constrain, revealing the delicate balance of nurturing individuality while honoring collective ties. Moments of tension and reconciliation highlight the evolving nature of family and community, reflecting the fluidity of real-world connections. Gender dynamics are explored with subtlety and nuance. Casey's navigation of a male-dominated sports environment illuminates the challenges faced by young women asserting their place in traditionally exclusive spaces. The film avoids simplistic portrayals, instead presenting characters whose experiences reflect both resistance to and accommodation of gendered expectations. Delilah's storyline, in particular, enriches this theme, offering a layered perspective on empowerment, competition, and solidarity among female athletes. The motif of silence and voice recurs throughout the film. Characters grapple with finding their voices amidst noise, whether societal pressures, familial expectations, or internal fears. Silence can signify exclusion, hesitation, or protection, while speaking out represents courage and transformation. The film's narrative arc traces moments when characters break through silence to claim agency, communicate truth, and forge connection, underscoring the power of voice as a tool for self-definition and change. Symbolism extends to specific objects and actions within the story. The football itself becomes a symbol of possibility and pressure, a tangible focus of dreams and anxieties. Its movement, from hand to hand, field to field, mirrors the transfer of hope, responsibility, and the unpredictability of life's course. The sidelines, with their benches, water bottles, and waiting players, symbolize the threshold between action and observation, participation and exclusion. The film also employs weather and natural elements symbolically. Rain scenes coincide with moments of emotional cleansing and revelation, while sunlight often accompanies hope and renewal. These elements work in tandem with visual and narrative cues to evoke mood and thematic subtext. Through these themes and symbols, the film connects intimately with its characters' inner worlds and the broader cultural contexts they inhabit. Casey's evolution from sideline supporter to empowered participant embodies the journey from invisibility to visibility, from self-doubt to self-assertion. Luke's arc speaks to the fragility and resilience of identity in the face of physical and emotional challenges. Delilah's story challenges norms and expands notions of belonging and strength. Critically, the film's thematic richness elevates it beyond a simple sports drama into a nuanced exploration of adolescence, family, and society. Its layered symbolism invites multiple readings, encouraging viewers to engage intellectually and emotionally. The resonance of these themes has contributed to the film's positive reception, sparking conversations about representation, youth empowerment, and the multifaceted nature of success. Ultimately, Sidelined, the QB and Me uses its cinematic language, visual motifs, narrative structures, and character development to craft a poignant meditation on what it means to find one's place in a world that often favors the visible and overlooks the silent. Its themes of resilience, identity, and voice invite us all to honor the unseen journeys, the quiet battles, and the enduring hope that define the human experience. The making of Sidelined, The QB and Me is a masterclass in how filmmaking techniques can transform a story from mere words on a page into a visceral, immersive experience. Each technical choice, from the precise framing of a close-up to the rhythmic pulse of the editing, from the subtle layering of soundscapes to the choreography of camera movement, serves a purpose, weaving together to create an atmosphere that pulls the audience into the emotional heart of the film. Exploring these techniques reveals how craftsmanship and artistry combine to breathe life into the narrative, shaping the film's tone and guiding viewers through the highs and lows of its compelling story. At the foundation of the film's visual storytelling lies its cinematography, which balances kinetic energy with intimate observation. The director of photography employed a versatile approach, adapting lighting, camera angles, and movement to reflect the shifting emotional landscapes of the characters. Game scenes burst with dynamic tracking shots that follow players with fluidity, capturing the adrenaline and chaos of the field. These sequences use a combination of handheld cameras and stabilizing rigs, creating a sense of immediacy that places viewers alongside the athletes, feeling every sprint, tackle, and sprint. Contrasting these high-energy moments are quieter, character-driven scenes that utilize more static compositions and softer lighting. In intimate conversations or moments of reflection, the camera lingers thoughtfully, allowing subtle expressions and gestures to carry emotional weight. The interplay between wide shots and close-ups creates a rhythm that mirrors the film's balance between public spectacle and private struggle. Lighting design plays a crucial role in setting mood and tone. Natural light dominates outdoor scenes, shifting with the time of day to evoke varying atmospheres. Warm, golden hues during hopeful moments, cooler, subdued tones during tension or doubt. Interior scenes employ controlled lighting to highlight emotional nuances, casting shadows that symbolize uncertainty or internal conflict. This careful modulation of light and shadow deepens the film's thematic complexity and visual appeal. Color grading further enhances emotional resonance. The palette evolves subtly over the course of the film. Vibrant greens and blues during scenes of camaraderie and triumph gradually yield to muted earth tones in moments of hardship and introspection. This chromatic journey reflects the characters' internal states and narrative arcs, offering viewers subconscious cues about tone and mood. The film's production design complements these visual strategies. Authenticity was a priority, with sets and locations chosen or constructed to reflect real high school environments, from the worn turf of the stadium to the cluttered intimacy of locker rooms and family homes. Attention to detail in props, uniforms, and signage grounds the world in reality, enhancing immersion. Simultaneously, subtle design choices underscore thematic elements. For example, the contrast between the pristine field and the more chaotic sidelines visually represents inclusion and marginalization. Sound design is integral to the film's immersive quality. The soundscape weaves together layers of ambient noises, the distant roar of a crowd, the sharp whistle of coaches, the rhythmic thud of the football, with more nuanced auditory textures like breath, footsteps, and rustling clothing. These elements build a rich sonic environment that situates viewers firmly within the world of the film. Sound effects are carefully balanced to heighten tension during action sequences without overwhelming dialogue or music. The musical score plays a vital narrative role, blending orchestral strings with contemporary beats to mirror the film's emotional shifts. Themes recur and evolve, underscoring character development and plot progression. The composer collaborated closely with the director and sound team to synchronize music with visual and emotional cues, creating a cohesive audio-visual experience. The score's integration of diegetic sounds, such as tapping cleats or crowd chants, into musical motifs enhances the film's authenticity and emotional impact. Editing shapes the film's pacing and tone with precision. The editors skillfully alternate between rapid cuts during game sequences that convey urgency and longer takes during reflective moments that invite contemplation. Cross-cutting between simultaneous storylines heightens suspense and emotional complexity, while strategic use of slow motion accentuates key plays and character reactions. The rhythm of editing guides audience engagement, balancing excitement with empathy. Camera techniques extend beyond movement and framing to include creative use of focus and depth of field. Selective focus isolates characters in moments of vulnerability, drawing viewers' attention to subtle emotional shifts. Shallow depth of field is employed in scenes of introspection, visually separating characters from their surroundings to emphasize isolation or contemplation. Conversely, deep focus scenes capture the bustling environment, reminding audiences of the larger community context. The film also utilizes symbolic visual motifs enhanced through cinematography and editing. For instance, recurring shots of shadows or reflections evoke themes of duality and identity. These motifs subtly reinforce narrative themes, enriching the viewer's interpretive experience. The physicality of the actors was captured with care, especially during sports sequences. The choreography of movements, sprints, tackles, throws, was coordinated with stunt teams and coaches to maintain realism and safety. Multiple camera angles, including overhead drones and ground-level shots, were combined to produce dynamic perspectives that highlight athleticism and emotional stakes. Visual effects were used sparingly but effectively to enhance critical moments, such as slow-motion plays or environmental effects like rain, without detracting from the film's grounded tone. These enhancements were integrated seamlessly through close collaboration between visual effects artists and cinematographers. The film's production benefited from thoughtful use of technology. High-resolution digital cameras captured crisp, detailed images that allowed for flexible post-production grading and effects. Wireless sound equipment and multi-camera setups enabled capturing multiple angles simultaneously, maximizing efficiency and coverage during fast-paced scenes. From a box office perspective, these filmmaking techniques contributed significantly to the film's appeal. Audiences responded to the authentic, emotionally charged portrayal of youth sports, enhanced by visually engaging and sonically rich storytelling. Marketing leveraged the film's dynamic game footage and heartfelt character moments to attract diverse viewers, from sports fans to drama enthusiasts. Critically, reviewers praised the film's craftsmanship, highlighting how technical elements supported narrative depth without overshadowing character-driven storytelling. The seamless integration of sound, music, and visuals was noted as elevating the film's emotional impact. In sum, the film's filmmaking techniques are a testament to the power of cinematic craft to deepen storytelling. Through careful attention to cinematography, lighting, sound, editing, and design, the filmmakers created a vibrant, immersive world that draws viewers into the emotional and physical realities of its characters. These elements work in concert to shape an atmosphere that is both exhilarating and intimate, ensuring that the audience experiences not just the thrill of the game but the profound human stories at its heart. The story of Sidelined, the QB and Me extends beyond its script and screen presence into the voices and experiences of those who brought it to life, the cast who embodied the characters with depth and nuance, the interviews that revealed their intimate connections to the story, and the audiences whose responses illuminated the film's profound resonance. These layers add a vibrant human dimension, transforming the film from a solitary vision into a shared cultural moment. Exploring the cast's perspectives alongside audience reactions reveals the powerful dialogue between storytellers and viewers, a conversation steeped in empathy, reflection, and celebration. From the earliest promotional interviews, the lead actress emerged as a beacon of thoughtful engagement. Portraying Casey required a delicate balance of strength and vulnerability, and she embraced this challenge with remarkable insight. In conversations with journalists, she described immersing herself not just in football culture but in the emotional landscape of those who live on the sidelines, both literally and figuratively. She spoke of connecting with real young women who support siblings and friends in sports, listening to their stories of sacrifice, invisibility, and quiet heroism. These encounters fueled her performance, infusing Casey with authenticity that resonated with viewers. The actress often highlighted the film's thematic depth in interviews, expressing pride in its portrayal of overlooked voices and the nuanced depiction of family dynamics. She emphasized that Casey's journey is not about grand gestures but the small, persistent acts of love and courage that sustain relationships. This perspective enriched media conversations, positioning the film as a meaningful exploration of resilience and identity rather than just a sports narrative. Luke's portrayer offered his own reflections in interviews, revealing the transformative nature of the role. Coming from a background with limited athletic experience, his physical and emotional preparation for the part was intense. He spoke candidly about the humbling experience of learning the game and the physical demands of portraying a quarterback recovering from injury. The process, he noted, deepened his empathy for athletes who face the dual challenges of physical rehabilitation and psychological uncertainty. He also discussed the brother-sister relationship at the story's core, describing how his off-screen friendship with the lead actress informed their on-screen chemistry. Their ability to convey complex familial love, supportive yet fraught with unspoken tensions, became a highlight in many interviews, lauded by critics and fans alike. The actor playing Delilah brought a fresh perspective in interviews, emphasizing the importance of representing strong, multidimensional female athletes. She spoke about her own experiences navigating competitive sports and the film's role in challenging stereotypes about women in football. Her reflections on empowerment, inclusion, and solidarity contributed to broader conversations sparked by the film, resonating with audiences eager for diverse and authentic representation. Director and producers also engaged openly with the press, sharing insights about the collaborative creative process and the film's intentions. They highlighted the extensive research, community involvement, and commitment to realism that shaped the production. Their interviews underscored the desire to tell a story that balances entertainment with emotional truth, addressing themes of belonging and perseverance that speak to universal human experiences. These cast and crew perspectives created a rich tapestry of voices that invited audiences to see the film as a labor of love grounded in real stories and heartfelt intentions. This openness cultivated a connection that extended beyond the screen, fostering anticipation and dialogue. Audience reactions further illustrate the film's impact. From early screenings to wide release, viewers responded with enthusiasm and emotional engagement. Social media buzz captured a diverse array of testimonials, with many praising the film's authenticity and emotional honesty. Parents spoke of seeing their own family dynamics reflected in the narrative. Young athletes related to the pressures and hopes depicted. Educators and coaches appreciated the nuanced portrayal of mentorship and growth. Viewer discussions often highlighted the relatability of Casey's character. The quiet strength and the struggle for recognition resonated deeply, sparking conversations about the many sidelined voices in everyday life. Audiences found inspiration in her journey, citing the film as a reminder that courage takes many forms and that impact is not limited to those in the spotlight. Critics echoed these sentiments, praising the performances for their subtlety and depth. Reviews noted how the actors transcended genre conventions to create characters that felt real and multidimensional. The chemistry among the leads was frequently mentioned as a cornerstone of the film's emotional power. The film's thematic ambitions were lauded for their sophistication and relevance, elevating it above typical sports dramas. Viewer testimonials often touched on the film's emotional balance, how it navigated the exhilaration of the game alongside the quieter, more poignant moments of personal struggle. Many described feeling seen and understood, especially those who have experienced the tension between support roles and personal aspirations. This emotional connection fueled word-of-mouth enthusiasm and sustained interest well beyond initial release. Film festivals and community screenings added layers to audience engagement. Post-screening discussions revealed insights into how different viewers related to the story's themes. For some, it was a mirror of their own family experiences. For others, an eye-opening glimpse into the hidden struggles behind competitive sports. These conversations deepened appreciation for the film's commitment to nuanced storytelling and social relevance. The film's online presence became a hub for fan interaction, with cast members actively participating in Q&A sessions and sharing behind-the-scenes content. This digital dialogue strengthened the sense of community around the film, transforming it from a one-way presentation into a shared experience. Fans expressed gratitude for the film's honesty and the performances that brought its characters to life with warmth and complexity. Box office performance reflected this enthusiastic reception. The film attracted a broad demographic, appealing to sports enthusiasts, families, and those drawn to heartfelt dramas. Its steady ticket sales and positive critical buzz underscored its ability to connect across audiences, affirming the power of stories centered on overlooked voices. In summary, the cast's thoughtful engagement and the vibrant audience response form a vital part of the film's story. Their voices add layers of meaning, highlighting how art becomes a living conversation between creators and viewers. Through interviews and reactions, we see how Sidelined, the QB and Me transcends its narrative to touch lives, inspire dialogue, and celebrate the enduring human spirit. This ongoing dialogue between performance and reception enriches the film's legacy, making it not just a cinematic achievement but a cultural touchstone for many. The tapestry of voices around Sidelined, the QB and Me continues to unfold with remarkable depth and warmth, revealing the powerful interplay between those who embodied the story and those who embraced it as their own. As the film moved from conception through production to public release, a dynamic conversation grew, not only between the actors and filmmakers but extending to the audiences whose reflections added new dimensions to the film's meaning. This ongoing exchange illuminates the ways in which storytelling becomes a living, breathing experience, shaped as much by reception as by creation. The lead actress's journey with the film is particularly illuminating. In interviews spanning from pre-release press junkets to intimate talk show appearances, she consistently emphasized her emotional connection to Casey's story. She recounted how, during filming, moments intended to be brief or understated often became deeply personal. One such moment involved a quiet scene where Casey watches a football practice from the sidelines, a sequence shot in golden late afternoon light. The actress described how the weight of years of silent support, of feeling unseen yet deeply invested, poured into her performance, making the scene resonate far beyond its scripted brevity. In candid conversations, she spoke of the emotional challenges of embodying a character who lives largely in the shadow of another's spotlight. This resonated strongly with many young women who wrote to her after screenings, sharing their own experiences of being sidelined in families, schools, and communities. The actress became a kind of informal ambassador for these unseen stories, attending panel discussions and school visits to speak about themes of identity and perseverance. Her openness forged a bridge between the film's fictional world and real-life struggles, fostering a sense of solidarity among viewers. Luke's portrayer offered complementary reflections that deepened the film's exploration of vulnerability beneath apparent strength. Interviews revealed his initial anxiety about portraying a star athlete, fearing he might not convey the physicality or charisma authentically. Yet, through rigorous training and mentorship from real quarterbacks, he grew into a role that challenged his self-perception and expanded his emotional range. One journalist noted that his portrayal avoids clichés of toxic masculinity, instead revealing a layered young man grappling with fear, expectation, and love. He often described how working with the lead actress shaped his understanding of sibling dynamics, with their off-screen friendship lending credibility to their on-screen bond. They rehearsed lines together in quiet moments, improvising dialogue that enriched scenes with subtle tension and affection. His interviews highlighted how the film's themes of resilience and support mirror the realities faced by many young athletes, especially those recovering from injury or struggling with identity beyond sports. Delilah's actress provided another vital perspective, especially regarding representation and gender dynamics. Her participation in the project was driven by a desire to challenge stereotypes about female athletes in male-dominated sports. She spoke passionately in interviews about the importance of portraying complex, ambitious women who defy simplistic tropes. Her character's journey, from perceived outsider to respected team member, paralleled real-world struggles faced by many women breaking into traditionally exclusive fields. In conversations with the media, she revealed moments of personal connection with Casey's character, noting shared experiences of fighting for recognition and navigating pressure. This kinship translated into a nuanced on-screen relationship that evolves from rivalry to respect and collaboration. Her advocacy extended beyond the film, engaging with organizations supporting girls' participation in sports and championing gender equity. The director's interviews revealed his vision for balancing the visceral excitement of football with the film's emotional depth. He emphasized a collaborative process, encouraging actors to bring their own experiences and interpretations to their roles. He spoke of striving to create a film that resonates on multiple levels, capturing the physicality of the sport while honoring the inner lives of characters who often go unheard. His openness to improvisation and input led to organic moments that elevated the script, reinforcing the film's authenticity. Producers highlighted the extensive research and community involvement integral to the project. They described partnering with local schools and sports organizations, gathering stories that informed character development and plot. This connection to real-world experiences grounded the film in a social context that audiences found compelling and relatable. The team's commitment to representing diverse voices was reflected in the casting choices and thematic focus, which sparked meaningful discussions about inclusion and representation in youth sports. Audience reactions, both at festivals and in wider release, revealed a film that struck a chord across demographics. Parents saw reflections of their own family dynamics. Young athletes found validation in the portrayal of struggles and triumphs often overlooked. Educators and coaches appreciated the nuanced depiction of mentorship and growth. Social media became a vibrant forum for sharing personal stories inspired by the film, from tales of sibling support to overcoming adversity in sports and life. Many viewers expressed particular admiration for Casey's character, seeing in her a mirror of their own experiences as supporters, dreamers, or those who felt unseen. Testimonials flooded online platforms, with fans describing how the film gave voice to their silent battles and reminded them of their intrinsic worth. This emotional connection fostered a sense of community, uniting audiences in shared empathy and hope. Critics praised the film's performances for their subtlety and emotional truth. Reviews highlighted the lead's chemistry and the layered portrayals of complex adolescent realities. The film's ability to transcend sports genre conventions, addressing themes of identity, family, and resilience with sophistication, was frequently noted. The narrative's balance of tension and tenderness, spectacle and intimacy, earned acclaim for its craftsmanship and heart. Community screenings and Q&A sessions deepened the dialogue between creators and audiences. Discussions illuminated how different viewers related to the film's themes, revealing its multifaceted impact. For some, the story became a catalyst for conversations about gender roles and inclusion in sports. For others, a mirror reflecting the unspoken sacrifices behind athletic dreams. These engagements reinforced the film's role as both entertainment and social commentary. The film's box office success reflected this broad appeal. Its ability to attract diverse audiences, from sports fans to those drawn to family dramas, demonstrated the universal resonance of its story. Word-of-mouth recommendations and social media buzz sustained interest beyond initial release, affirming the film's emotional and cultural impact. In essence, the interplay of cast insights, filmmaker reflections, and audience experiences creates a vibrant, evolving narrative around Sidelined, the QB and me. Their voices breathe life into the film's themes, extending its reach and deepening its significance.